Welcome to Players Only, your backstage pass behind the scenes of today's PC and video game industry. I'm Scott Steinberg, and this week we're exploring the business of interactive entertainment. Co-host Diana Falzone, Casey Young, and I ask industry insiders, is it really all fun and games?
To make a game these days, it is nothing like it was even 5 years ago. Today, the development cycle is upwards towards 24 months. You can take as many as 60 people, peaking anywhere from 100 to 120 people. But we have artists, we have animators, we have concept artists, we have people in motion capture, audio, cinematics, not to mention on the project management.
It's a pipeline. You've got the UI design, the kind of wireframe that gets you the concept, and then you've got the graphic assets that you fold in, the animated assets that you bring there, the game concept. If it's a longer game, you've got the storyline that needs to be cohesive. You've got the any characters and their depth is as complicated as you want, and then of course all the programming that goes into rendering the game.
Well, certainly, designing a game comes from a lot of experience around what other games are doing and how other games are sort of redefining the space and what they're doing. So we do play and look at a lot of other places, but it's also about finding the creative core inside each of our designers, like letting them express who they are and find things that really makes them tick.
How do we decide which games we make? I'm gonna say that a funny thing is Hal Milton, our lead game designer. How did we pick the game we had to make? I actually asked Hal to come up with 12 game ideas, and he did that in probably about 30 minutes. And that was kind of the starting block for us, which is you need to have someone who's super creative. You can just whip these ideas out, and then it's really dissecting those ideas and understanding kind of what we like as a team, what we're passionate about as a team, but also then reflecting that out about what is going to work in the industry. Can it be marketed? Is this an attractive proposition?
Speaking of attractive propositions, here's the million-dollar question. Is being a game developer really as cool as everyone thinks it's cracked up to be?
The average day here at High Moon Studios is really nonstop playing games, surfing, relaxing, doing nothing. Actually, that was a dream I had once. The truth is, it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of sort of focused, tedious work with reviewing what kind of goals we want to make, reviewing what type of games or what type of mechanics that we're working on, tuning, polishing, and working with a lot of people that don't necessarily want to work together in the same group.
We work in a very collaborative environment here. I have a workstation cube just like everybody else does. And so the first thing I do when I come in is I like to see what's the latest in the game. I'm a gamer. And so for me, it's the excitement of coming in, seeing all the check-ins and the build in there, playing our game, and then finding out what's broken and helping the team get rolling. I mean, I think I have the best job in the world because I'm the #1 tester for our game.
Typically when I come in around 10 a.m., I do like my sleep. I start out by working with all the artists internally. So in-house we have about 80 to 86 people. A lot of artists. I walk around, I work with them, I figure out if they need reviews. I work on the art style, the quality with the art director and also with the artists. And then from about 5 o'clock to 11 at night, I'm working with our external vendors. I do all the outsourcing here for the agency as well. So given that their time schedules are flipped, I'm usually speaking with people in China and India for the rest of my evening.
It's a busy day, it's a long day, but it's relaxed in the same sense of we're working on video games, we're having fun, and there's days when we come in and it's a reference day. So we're going to go into the theater and we're going to watch movies, we're going to watch action movies, we're going to watch war movies, we're going to watch sci-fi movies, we're going to play video games, we're going to play all the new games that come out to see what's happening, get inspiration, see what's cool, see what's not.
Playing games is something that we cannot do. It's programming, it's hard marketing work, and we really have to shift sometimes to allow our people to play. We have set it up networks for our teams, and they have to play at least 1 hour per day beside the normal work. Playing the game that you program is very important.
There's a lot of self-discipline involved because you have to start yourself. You have to really push yourself just to work. But at the same time, you have to stop. You have to prevent yourself from working too much. So there's a lot of self-discipline on both ends just to get something out.
But with so many good ideas for games, how do game publishers decide what makes it out the door?
Aspire flips a coin to see which games we actually publish. No, we look at a couple things. First and foremost, like everybody, we're fans of games. So what is the focus of the game? What's the scope of the game? What's the time of the game? Probably how we're different than other publishers is we don't spend 10, 15, 20, $30 million on a game. We don't spend 3 years on games. We like games that are 12 to 18 months in scope and time and budget. And then the business model. It's about retail. It's about marketing. It's about the consumer. Who gives a about this game?
Really what we try and do is we try and look at our audience. We try and guess at some level, because we have a certain amount of information, but guess where are the trends, like think of where the trends in the industry are going, try and place something often in a space that we're not in. Something you can see there's been trends and things like a little more action-oriented games with Jade Empire and Mass Effect, and really trying to project forward and decide, first of all, what fits with our brand, what fits with our desire to really capture players' attention with really emotional experiences, but then also what gameplay is going to work. So kind of juggling those things all together, we then make our best guess.
I think the biggest misconception about the process by which we go through to decide games is that we're just some big corporation. The reality of it is that there's a lot of gamers. I'm surrounded by gamers, I'm a gamer. And when we sit there and we go through game concepts and decide who to work with, it's partially based on how much fun we think the game will be, how good the developer is, do they have a track record, have we worked with them before, do we think they can deliver on the fun factor? That's probably the most important part of choosing a game, is having people around that actually play games and love games.
The answer is you find titles that work to your strengths, and then you slowly build off of that and expand a little bit, but don't do a 180-degree turn and do something you really have no experience doing, because that's a pretty high-risk venture that way.
Okay, so now we know what it takes to develop a game as well as publish one, but what if you want to break into the industry? How to get started?
To be a game developer requires a very specific sort of laser-like focus and an ability to work almost non-stop for long periods of time on very tedious things. A lot of times video game development is like watching paint dry.
It's a mixture, it's a teamwork. It's to make a good game and to have a good team. You need several people, several kind of people. You need strong people, you need soft people, you need very much skilled people. But one thing that is common over everybody, that's the enthusiasm.
The best advice I can give to someone who wants to get into the game business is become a tester. Go join a QA department. You'll interact with the development teams on a daily basis. They'll get to know you. They'll get to know your design sensibility, your skill set, the fact that you're not a serial killer and they want to hang out with you for 20 hours a day for 7 months. If you can't do that, go get yourself a good education. Become an expert in one of the fields necessary to create a game. Become the best programmer in the world. Become the best artist in the world. Pick a specialty and just nail it. And then go find developers that make the kinds of games that you love. Because if you end up at a developer that's making games that you don't love, you're going to get burned out in 6 months and you're going to hate your life.
We have a playtest department, for example. That's an easy way to kind of get started. A lot of our playtesters contribute suggestions and ideas to our games, and if somebody's got a talent for that, that's recognized, and maybe they can become scenario designer or co-designer, or there's a path like that. If you're a programmer and you really have a passion for it, make a game. There's a lot of public software out there for graphics and things like that, of open source stuff. So even a small team can make a pretty impressive game these days, and that's certainly the best way to demonstrate your programming skills. There's also scenarios and mods, things like that. Civ 4 has got a rich suite of tools you can use to make your own mods, maps, etc. That also kind of demonstrates what you've got going design-wise.
You need to have a clear idea of what part of the game industry you want to work within. If you want to get into the game industry, I think you need to have a lot of passion for the game industry. One of the things we're always looking for anyone that wants to enter games is how much do they really care about games, because without that spark, it's not like we're the best paying industry in the world. You need something else to make you really want to do it. By and large, that means you need to be a gamer.
Good luck getting your game on. We'll see you next week on Players Only.
Thank you.